Hi, parents. I wanted to share with you something that's been on my heart a little bit lately, and that is what you can do when your child is giving you a little bit of, or lots of pushback about practicing or about music lessons. And these are just some of the humbling lessons I've learned in my life. So you all know that I have 8 kids, and our rule is that you have to take lessons. Everybody has to take music lessons in something. My oldest 2 children are in college, and they played piano all the way through from the time they were 5 through high school. And one is majoring in art. She still plays the piano, though. The other is doing STEM things and still sits down at the piano and plays. The middle 2 are teenagers right now, so that's a fun age. And they started on piano lessons, and then they got tired of that really quickly. And so we switched one of them to violin and one to cello. And about 4 years later, they got tired of that too. And they really started giving me a lot of grief about practicing, because I do require that they practice every day. And they were giving me a hard time about lessons, and they had been taking lessons, 4 years, that's a long time, and they were doing really well. They could play well. And so it was really hard for me. Our rule is you have to take lessons in something. So our daughter, who was taking violin lessons, wanted to take voice lessons. And so I did. I finally let her quit violin. And our son, who was taking cello lessons, had already started the oboe in band. And, he promised that he would just, do more with the oboe. He was already taking oboe lessons. So that was really, really hard for me, because it felt like they'd already reached this certain level and they were throwing away all the progress. But so one of the lessons that's really important here is, you could take lessons in anything, and that is never lost. If you take lessons in trumpet for 2 years and then you switch to flute, those 2 years that you spent on the trumpet are not lost. Music is music. The knowledge that you have about reading music and about playing with a group, and just the discipline that it takes, the knowledge of rhythm, pitch awareness, all of those things, they're still there. And so it makes you a better flutist than somebody who's completely starting from scratch. And so my son, who plays the oboe now, he's in middle school. He's a fantastic oboist. He's one of the best oboists in the state. And that's crazy to think about, like this kid that I couldn't get him to practice piano, and I couldn't get him to practice cello. He's a phenomenal oboist. And my daughter, after she started voice lessons, it wasn't very long afterwards. It was just, a few months. Her voice teacher, who's, fantastic. Well, I mean, all of my kids have fantastic teachers, but he poked his head in, and he said, Maggie's range is almost as large as Mariah Carey's. So, Mariah Carey has this huge vocal range, like 4 or 5 octaves or something. And I just thought, what? My Maggie? So, she's a singer. She wasn't a violinist. She is a singer. And that actually didn't even occur to me. It didn't even occur to me that these are things that they could really just take off with. I just thought, they just seemed like they were kind of trudging along, and that they would never really make any progress or be phenomenal at music, because they just really weren't interested in dragging their heels. And it's amazing to me now that I have this like fabulous oboist and this like a fabulous singer, and I never would have thought. So the other lesson is that sometimes you just have to trust your kids. If they're not feeling it, um, you know, I if they're not feeling the trombone or the clarinet, find out what's in there, because sometimes I think we let them quit because they're not feeling it, and then they've lost that chance to have music in their lives, or we make them stay with an instrument that's just not resonating with them, um, and then they don't get the chance to find out who they truly are. So it's been a really humbling lesson for me, and I hope this helps you too. All right, bye-bye.